Good evening and a very warm welcome to Cricket Analysis by CNE. So आज जनरली अपन इंग्लिश में करते हैं, आज चेंज करेंगे, हिंदी में करते हैं भाई लोग। और बेसिकली हम लोग बहुत दिन से है नहीं थे नहीं, वीडियोस आए नहीं है, तो आज बहुत दिन बाद अपन तीनों बैठे हैं। एंड देखो क्या है ना कि आज बस बात करते हैं यार, उतना प्लानिंग वैनिंग भाई, प्लानिंग वैनिंग नहीं होगा अपने से, ठीक है।
अच्छा अच्छा।
बहुत
गुड
बहुत
मॉर्निंग वेदांत। गुड
हाँ
मॉर्निंग
गुड
वेदांत, आप तो
मॉर्निंग।
उठे हुए हो बस।
हाँ मैं उठा हुआ तो
हाँ
भाई।
वेदांत भाई,
बोल।
बहुत
आज
प्लान्स
कौन सा वीडियो
कैंसिल
हो रहा है
करके
पता
आना पड़ा
है?
भाई।
हाँ
आज कौन सा वीडियो हो रहा है
बहुत
पता है?
प्लान्स कैंसिल हुआ भाई।
आज आज अरे आज वो मीम्स रिव्यू था ना, अग्नि। मीम्स रिव्यू था
अबे
ना।
नहीं
नो वन
भाई।
टॉक्स अबाउट।
अरे वो अरे सॉरी गाइस हे कट। Good evening and welcome to Cricket Analysis by CNE. Today we are going to talk about all the matches which have
क्या हो रहा है ये?
taken place in the upcoming in the past months. ठीक है, तो
अच्छा
अपकमिंग।
चलो भाई थोड़ा सीरियस हो जाते हैं यार यहाँ बहुत। तो
अच्छा।
आज अपना काम बेसिकली ये है कि जितने भी सीरीज हुए हैं ओवरऑल इन द पास्ट 2 मंथ्स, 1.5 months टू बी प्रिसाइज, उसके बारे में विल टॉक एंड गिव अ ब्रीफ, बिकॉज इंस्टेड ऑफ गिविंग सीरीज रिव्यूज एंड टॉकिंग इन डिटेल, कोई आई डोंट थिंक उतना कोई फायदा है उसका। सो इट इज बेटर दैट वी गिव अ ब्रीफ एंड वी मूव ऑन एंड वी टॉक अबाउट recent developments in the cricketing world. So let's start.
Yeah,
And
I think that's important. I think Vedant is that कि हम लोग serious review, we're not doing serious review at the moment. Is of course we have more personal commitments with ourselves in the lives. हम लोग का lives में बहुत कुछ चल रहा है. Proneet has his own life. हम लोग का मेरा life चल रहा है. Vedant का life चल रहा है. तो serious reviews करना won't be as regular, especially bilateral ones. We'll try our
नहीं,
best to give
Agni, sorry to cut you
matches
off,
reviews during the ICC
but
tournaments.
see, I think more than see, I think we are all here committed to CNE and its cause. I mean, there's no doubt here. But I think what we have also received as feedback, at least what I'll tell you, I have received is that instead of doing those two long monologues, I think one brief video about everything to sum it up is a better idea.
Yeah,
Is so
definitely.
I think we collectively came to that agreement, and but let's not waste a lot of time, guys. So start
Yeah,
करते हैं यार.
long time since we have done a CNE video. Lot
Actually,
has
really
changed.
long
हाँ
time, really
भाई,
long time.
It has a lot has
बहुत दिन
changed.
से भाई वेदांत के साथ
Proneet has
डिसएग्री नहीं हुआ भाई।
अरे यार प्रोनीत यार, मैं भी कितना मिस कर रहा था यार। मैं रात को सोता था, बोलता प्रोनीत आई डिसएग्री, नहीं
uh,
होगा।
wait, bhai, this is too much now because CNE is part of our
नहीं
lives
भाई,
and we are doing it for 2 months. फिर
हाँ
Proneet has had a haircut, I had a haircut, Vedant रह गया तो उसका कोई बदलाव नहीं है तो उसके my
हाँ
background is missing. Where is my background? I have no idea. But उसके अलावा this CNE wants to give videos और वो हम लोग करेंगे. So without further ado, let's get on to it.
एनीवेज भाई चलो लेट्स स्टार्ट। तो फर्स्ट
Yeah.
we'll go to the we'll just give a brief outlook of the matches. So first was
Mm-hmm.
the Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh series that we'll talk about. I think
Yep.
उसका टेस्ट मैचेस का रिव्यूज, I think me and Proneet have done it. और me
अरे
and
मैं भी था भाई.
Proneet have done it.
Don't forget मैं भी
हाँ,
था.
अग्नि अग्नि भी था। हाँ,
कोई तो किया है।
भाई
हाँ
मैं
सब लोग
पूरा किया हूँ, तुम
थे
लोग कोई
भाई।
रिसर्च नहीं किया हूँ, ठीक है? मैं पूरा
अच्छा
किया हूँ तो.
अग्नि अग्नि हाँ ठीक है अग्रीड। ठीक है, तो
हाँ.
अभी उसका
बहुत मुश्किल
तो
से देखे थे भाई।
we'll talk about the T20 series and the ODI series. अच्छा कट,
यप.
ODI सीरीज चल
हाँ
रहा है कि क्या हो रहा है उसमें?
अरे बहुत दिन पहले खत्म हो गया भाई. बहुत दिन पहले खत्म हो गया.
ODI वाला ये सब एडिट कर लेना, ठीक है, देख दाख के एडिट कर लेना।
हाँ.
So we'll be talking about the Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh series in the starting, and Agni, if you'd like to
Yep.
take us through the series.
Yeah, so Sri Lanka, Bangladesh are two proud test playing nations who are very proud of the cricket. Bangladesh have been involved in the top 10 rankings of the ICC rankings for a long period of time, and Sri Lanka are, well, they have a lot of history together. So it's very important to see that these two teams compete because both are going through a downfall period जहाँ पे उनका experienced players are retiring slowly, and then their youngsters are not being able to capitalize each other. So it's very important that this series is being played because this leads on to the ODI World Cup 2027, this ODI series. And this is very important in the sense that they create a stable team because we at CNE सब समय बोलते रहे हैं, we have talked about in test series, we have talked about ODI series, सब समय stability is important. So to get a platform for them to set to each other, then go on to win matches, and then go on to the 2027 World Cup to go to the semi-finals is important. And this is where it starts. This ODI series bilateral se yahan start hota hai. So that is the mindset going into the ODI series. Sri Lanka have trusted yet another captain as in the form of Charit Asalanka, and Bangladesh have given a captaincy to a very profligate all-rounder in Mehdi Hassan. So this was a competition which was closely fought, and the scoreline went on to 2-1 favoring Sri Lanka. Now, how that happened was, of course, good cricket played by both teams. Spin was dominant. The spinners did do very well. Sri Lanka have a superior spinning side on paper. That's why you can see that they were able to break more partnerships often. But I think the main difference between these both teams is a kind of a criticism I have between the pitches actually, because we have seen that in the India Sri Lanka series. If you think about it, back in 2024, if I'm not wrong, you'll see that a lot of the wins have been dependent on toss, where the batting side is winning the match in an ODI match specifically, and that has happened here as well in the majority part, because you see that batting first in suppose under the sun is way easier than batting at lights, where the wicket tends to get a bit sticky and then you can't score the runs freely and then the collapse happens. So that has happened here. So the team that has lost, Bangladesh, I feel like they have played good cricket because they have won an ODI. They have batted first and won an ODI. But you would feel like ICC would want to get some things rectified with Sri Lanka cricket, because for two series now tosses are being dependent, and one of the victories are getting victories are being biased, I feel like, because they're just winning tosses, and when tosses win matches, cricket is not that enjoyable. So this was the ODI series, but it's again no credit from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka won a very good series, and they go on to, I hope, get a settling team and choose Sri Lanka as the captain for some time now, especially till ODI 2027, and not change anything, because they have won a series now. They would like to continue that.
Okay, thank
Now,
you, Agni. Thank you, Agni.
but
You took us through. Just one second, Proneet, before I come to you. For very well, you have taken us through the ODI series and rightly mentioned that Sri Lanka have won 2-1, and of course all the good things and bad things. Well done. And now अपन आते हैं प्रोनीत के पास. And प्रोनीत, अगर if you don't agree with his viewpoint, which जो तेरा हमेशा का है कि I disagree, तो तू कर आराम
नहीं
से,
नहीं, वो
अगर
तेरे
करना है
साथ है,
तो.
वो तेरे साथ है,
अच्छा
वो
अच्छा, वो
तेरे
मेरे
साथ है।
साथ ही है सर. चलो अच्छा है.
it's
सुन सुन
Anyway,
सुन, मेरी
तो
बात सुन।
हाँ, बोल बोल. अच्छा, और तू सुन ले.
हाँ
तू
तुम,
तू तू सुन, पहले पहले अगर डिसएग्री कर, जो करना है कर, और उसके बाद T20 सीरीज के बारे
हाँ
में भी बोल. दोनों.
हाँ.
मैं सब कर देता हूँ साहब। हाँ सुन, सर जी सुनो, तो अब अग्नि ने जो
पूरी
बोला,
भाषा में बात कर रहे हैं ये लोग.
अबे मैं क्या बोलूं भाई, हिंदी में बोलना है तो कभी कभी निकल जाता है भाई। तो
बोल बोल बोल
अब
ना
जो
आराम
भी,
से.
बोल, आराम से बोल, कोई चिंता नहीं
यो
है.
अग्नि ने जो कहा कि श्रीलंका डॉक्टरिंग द पिचेस उनके फेवर के हिसाब से, कि अंडर द लाइट्स उनके स्पिनर्स को मदद मिल रही है, वो दैट इज फेयर। आई फील दैट इज फेयर ऑन देम, बिकॉज होम ग्राउंड है, होम कंडीशंस है। यू हैव द राइट टू डॉक्टर कंडीशन, आई फील दैट, बिकॉज जब आप होम पे खेल रहे हो, श्रीलंका एंड बांग्लादेश में अगर कंपेयर करूं, तो श्रीलंका एंड बांग्लादेश आर टू कंप्लीटली ऑपोजिट साइड्स आई फील इन द bowling अटैक। आई फील देयर वाज अ डिफरेंस, बिकॉज श्रीलंका के पास अगर तुम देखो तो 5 स्पिनर है, 5 प्रॉपर स्पिनर है। हाँ, और ऑन द अदर हैंड बांग्लादेश हैज अ वेरी गुड पेस अटैक। नाहिद राणा, तास्किन अहमद, तानजीद हसन, शाकिब एंड मुस्तफिजुर रहमान। So I feel one has a very strong pace attack and one has a very strong spin attack. So if we compare both of these, so इस हिसाब से हमको रिजल्ट्स मिल रहे हैं ओडीआईज में अंडर द लाइट्स। जब स्पिनर्स कर रहे हैं अच्छा, तो श्रीलंका को मदद मिल रही है। और ऑन द
It's
अदर
not
हैंड
that
मैं
Sri Lanka is
T20
getting the help. I'm not
गया नहीं
talking
हूँ।
about that front. I'm talking about that front. If Sri Lanka is doctoring pitches, it's fine. I have no problem with that. That has happened with England. England are creating flat pitches for their batsmen to do well.
हाँ
I'm
वही
talking about
एग्जैक्टली।
it's being toss dependent. I'm talking about even Bangladesh as well. Bangladesh is winning the toss and batting first and winning the match thereon. It's happened for India as well. India Sri Lanka series as well, where Sri Lanka won all three
No,
tosses and
but
won all
if
three
you
matches.
see, if you see the New Zealand Sri Lanka series, when New Zealand won the series 2-1, In that series, New Zealand chased a total and won in a match as well.
Yeah,
While
that was
two
one
matches
instance.
were
That was one
batting first,
instance
like
out of the
that.
last 8 instances. That was one instance in the last 8 instances. So I feel like that should be a bit more balanced rather than just dependent on just batting first. So that's
Chalo,
just my
okay
opinion.
guys,
Nothing else.
okay guys. So what I could conclude here is basically one thing, that Agni has a very good point here, that matches should not be toss dependent only, and it should be a fair game which is won by the team which plays better. Having said that, Sri Lanka did very well to win the series 2-1, obviously. Now Proneet, on to the T20 series. Go.
सो कमिंग इनटू द T20 सीरीज बांग्लादेश श्रीलंका का, ये पूरा ऑपोजिट था ओडीआई का। 2-1 से बांग्लादेश जीत गया। बांग्लादेश ने कमबैक किया था, फर्स्ट मैच हारने के बाद दो कंसेक्यूटिव मैचेस वो लोग जीते। और फिर इसमें हमने देखा कि श्रीलंका का, आई फील टी20s में जो उनका उनका जो प्रॉब्लम है, जो ओडीआईज में उनका बेनिफिट होता है, वो टी20 में उनका प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है। क्योंकि टी20s में अगर हम देखेंगे कि मैं जो पेस अटैक और स्पिन अटैक का मैं जो कंपैरिजन किया, कि श्रीलंका का स्पिन अटैक बहुत अच्छा है लेकिन पेस अटैक बहुत वीक है। हाँ, मैंने दे डोंट इवन हैव वन प्रॉपर क्वालिटी पेसर। सो ऑन द अदर हैंड बांग्लादेश, आई फील going into the T20 World Cup in a few months, so Bangladesh have a really good pace attack. सो उनका पेस अटैक वहां काम किया एंड दे डिड वेरी वेल। सो टी20 में गुड पेस अटैक ऑलवेज वर्क्स। सो वहां पे हमने देखा एक मैच में श्रीलंका को 94 ऑल आउट भी कर दिया था, ह्यूमिलिएट किया था। तो इन दैट सेंस बांग्लादेश इज अ बैटिंग सेंस में दोनों टीम हैज बीन इक्वल। सो ओवरऑल अगर हम बोलेंगे तो बांग्लादेश इज अ मोर वेल राउंडेड स्क्वाड इन टी20 प्रोस्पेक्ट। ऑन द अदर एंड ओडीआईज में श्रीलंका हैज द अपर हैंड on, and in the current scenario, Sri Lanka can become one of the most, I feel I feel at least not most, but at least it can become a top 5 or top 4 performing ODI team. On the other hand, Bangladesh, they have potential but they just cannot perform. So we don't know what will happen in future, but they have potential. They can be good contenders in the T20 World Cup, but let's see how they perform.
Vedant, I want an opinion from you there here because since you're also involved in this meeting, I feel like you want to have your own point as well. I want to say the question I have for you is that if you see that Sri Lanka won two series where there is a lot more technique or a lot more skill involved than luck, but in T20, luck is more involved. You can see that luck is a considerable amount. So you feel like Bangladesh has more advantage in just T20 as just because there is luck involved because Sri Lanka is technically a more sound team.
नहीं, I don't think T20 is about luck. T20 is about actually players how everybody contributes. It is not about luck per se. So I think that, as Proneet has said, that Bangladesh in the T20s is a better team. But of course, series, but uh, three match series is no way to judge it, because different, like in T20, a player can have his day and do
Yeah,
well.
definitely.
So that way, in T20 cricket, it is not always true that the sound team always wins. There is no
Yeah.
guarantee, because one player can take the game away. That is why it is T20 cricket in general is not a way to test which is the better or sound team. I mean, देखो, ideally the better team should win, but not always in T20 cricket.
It's a game of small margins, you can say
Yeah,
that.
very small, exactly. Game of small margins, very small margins.
आई
So very
अरे
difficult.
यार, अगर तुम देखोगे कि हर फॉर्मेट में, क्रिकेट के हर फॉर्मेट में लक इन्वॉल्व है भाई। क्योंकि देखो, इन ईच एंड इवन इन टेस्ट क्रिकेट मोस्ट
No,
प्योरेस्ट
no.
फॉर्म ऑफ द
Test
गेम,
cricket, in
लॉन्गेस्ट
नहीं
Test
फॉर्म ऑफ
cricket,
द
you
गेम।
see,
प्रोनीत,
Puneet.
प्रोनीत एक सेकंड। प्रोनीत, अगर तुम टॉस हटा दो एंड ये टॉस इंडिपेंडेंट डिपेंडेंट वाला हम लोग हटा दे स्टैट, उसके बाद तो स्किल है, मेजोरिटी तो पूरा स्किल है
हाँ,
उसमें। बट
वही
टी
वही मैंने
ट्वेंटी
वो
टी ट्वेंटी
टू टू
क्रिकेट
फाइव
में क्या है?
परसेंट
टी
लक
ट्वेंटी
काम तो
क्रिकेट
हर
में क्या है?
फॉर्मेट
नहीं,
में।
T20 क्रिकेट में हो सकता है, मान ले एक टीम के पास बैटिंग डेप्थ ना हो, ठीक है, 4 डाउन के बाद बैटिंग नहीं है, 3 डाउन के बाद बैटिंग नहीं है, पर टॉप ऑर्डर का एक बंदा होगा, उस दिन कुछ हो गया, जो चला रहा है सब छक्का जा रहा है, तो क्या बोलेगा?
Yeah.
Does not
It has a
हाँ
game of
तब
small margin. Test means the biggest margin possible. Test
हाँ,
means the biggest
टेस्ट
margin
एग्जैक्टली,
possible.
टेस्ट क्रिकेट, टेस्ट भाई, टेस्ट क्रिकेट का गोल ही है टू टेस्ट द साउंड एंड मोर ये टीम।
Hmm.
एनीवे, दैट इज नॉट अ डिस्कशन
हाँ लेकिन
टुडे, सो
हाँ वो भी है, हाँ
let's
अलग
not go
डिस्कशन
there.
हो रहा है।
Anyways,
हाँ.
we have, okay, so this was about the Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, both the ODIs and T20s. एंड आई एम वेरी ग्लैड कि सीरीज रिव्यू अलग अलग से नहीं करना पड़ा, एक में हो गया। थैंक यू गाइस। एंड एनीवेज,
वीडियो बाकी है भाई।
अरे रुक, और रुक सुन, ऑस्ट्रेलिया वर्सेस Australia versus West Indies, me and Proneet have done. The video will be out shortly. So that
Yeah.
series, so it will be out there. So we are not covering that. Although just to give a brief that has happened, and 5-0 was the scoreline. Australia has won 5-0. We have spoken in detail about that in that video, in great detail, 20-25 minutes about it. Okay. And now I'd like to move on to the next one. Next T20 series again. This was after the T20 series of Australia versus West Indies, where West Indies was whitewashed very badly, in fact. And we move, and this is the Pakistan versus West Indies series I'm talking about. And before I ask Agni for his insights on it, if he has any, I'll just like to give you a overview of what has happened. Essentially, Pakistan has won 2-1. Now, Agni, over
Yeah.
to you. Take the stage.
Yeah, as we have said, T20 cricket is a game of small margins, and here as well, you can see that in this series as well, there is a game of small margins here as well, where Pakistan West Indies have fought closely here. It was a very closely fought series, and as Vedant rightly said, three-match T20 series is not really justice to the format because in three matches you can't really see who is the most superior team out of the two because on a good day and a bad day ये हो सकता है. And that is what happened here क्योंकि Pakistan won the first T20 convincingly 13 runs से जीते हैं, but it's way closer than you think. वहां पे you can see that the finishers took the game close and then Pakistan were in a problematic situation जहां पे Pakistan were failing to defend, but at the end they defended. So these things of small margins can come up front, but the thing is that Pakistan are coming into West Indies in a dire state because they don't have a stable T20 team at all. In comparison to Australia, Australia had a very stable T20 team and they completely whitewashed West Indies, as Vedant and Proneet have covered in the video. यहाँ पे you can see that Pakistan are not really confident with the T20 team because they're changing. Plus, they're not having faith on the likes of Babar Azam or Mohammad Rizwan. So it is a big change on their team and it's a big hole on the team because these are experienced players at the end of the day. They're the top players and they are not being able trusted. They're not trusted with the role in T20 cricket. तो यहाँ पे problematic वो है. West Indies have come up from a very bad loss of 5-0. So this is two teams that are low on confidence going on each other, and you can see that there were a lot of nervous moments where pressure took a toll on them. And that has created the results actually because one has failed to hit a six, one has failed to take a wicket and leaked 20 runs in an over. And that has, as T20 cricket suggests, it goes up and down. The skill goes up and down. The probability of winning goes up and down. And that is what happened. But holding the pressure, holding the nervousness, and holding their eyes, Pakistan have come about in the penultimate T20 and won by a good margin of 10 plus runs. And that was a victory that gave them a solace, saying that, okay, we are somewhere at least. There's somewhere to begin with. There are players who have performed and won the match. And that is where Pakistan wants to stand right now because T20 World Cup is also coming 2026 and they really, really want a team that is good. And यहाँ से there'll be a more T20 series for Pakistan coming forward, but this was a very good series for them because they have held their nerves. And when good cricket is being played and they have won, I think that's amazing.
Proneet, you have anything to add to it, or you are happy with
Yes,
Agni's
yes,
analysis?
yes, yes. I want to add. I want to add a lot of things to it. I feel because talking about yes, Agni's every point of Agni is correct. I feel in this regard of Pakistan and West Indies. Yes, they both are managing. They both are coming out from a phase in which big players are retiring, especially in the T20 formats. They are moving on. Especially Pakistan because they had allegations of not letting the domestic players perform. Now they are using their domestic players, so they are moving on very well. I feel. On the other hand, I feel this series, I feel yes, it was a closely fought series. Last ball finish, 14-13 run margin victories. So I feel it was a closely fought series. But if I don't think this was a luck based series because why I will say why because if you compare Pakistan with West Indies just don't have a middle order or a lower middle order at all. And they did not contribute at all. Miraculously, Jason Holder finished the last ball six. So it was a miracle. So luck. That was again luck, I feel. It was a miracle. That doesn't happen every day. On the other hand, Pakistan have a stable pace attack, which they always had. They always had a stable pace bowling lineup, and their batting lineup is doing pretty well. Saim Ayub is emerging very well, along with Sahibzada Farhan. Fakhar Zaman is there with his experience. So Salman Ali Agha is leading the team very well, I feel. And on the other hand, West Indies have a lot of things to work upon. Have a lot of things to work upon. So going again, we all are talking about all the series, keeping the T20 World Cup in mind. So West Indies have a lot of homework to do. So they need to get better within a short period of time.
Okay, and I think that's it. Good. मेरे को विश्वास नहीं हो रहा इतना जल्दी जल्दी अब सीरीज खत्म कर रहे हैं तो मतलब न्यू डे फॉर मी.
But Vedant, एक चीज है, this is, I think this is quite good for the channel because this is short, concise, and quite good. So I like it. I like.
चलो. Okay. Now we will move on to the next series. Actually, it is the same team, which is Pakistan versus West Indies. We'll talk about the ODI series now. And Proneet, the floor is all yours. Go on.
ओके सो अब ये वेस्ट इंडीज पाकिस्तान का ओडीआई सीरीज जो हुआ, ये भी वैसा ही, मैंने 2-1 से जीत गया वेस्ट इंडीज। और भाई जो जीता है वेस्ट इंडीज ये ओडीआई सीरीज, लाइक इन दिस ओडीआई सीरीज वी सॉ द कमबैक ऑफ बाबर, रिजवान, सब लोग आए, सब सीनियर प्लेयर है, बिकॉज ओडीआई फॉर्मेट उनके लिए ही है। अब इस सीरीज में बाबर, रिजवान, पहले मैच में बाबर अच्छा किया, 47 बनाया, फिर एंडिंग भी अच्छा हुआ सबका। पाकिस्तान वन द फर्स्ट मैच, 284 चेस किया पाकिस्तान अगेंस्ट वेस्ट इंडीज, और इट वाज लुकिंग लाइक पाकिस्तान इजीली जीत जाएगा ये सीरीज। फिर वापस सेकंड ओडीआई से वेस्ट इंडीज का बॉलिंग इतना अच्छा हो गया भाई। जेडन सील्स इज, मैंने इन हिज ड्रीम रन, ही इज इन हिज प्राइम, वी कैन से, वी डोंट नो हिज फ्यूचर, बट currently this is his best form right now, till now in his career. So he's at a certain high nobody can reach right now. He's an exceptional fast bowler, and West Indies having their pace attack sorted is a very good thing. On the other hand, Pakistan, their star players, the quality players on whom they depend upon, Babar and Rizwan, they are underperforming, and I feel that has been the difference in both the teams, because in the ODI squad of West Indies we see performers like Shai Hope, even Casey Carty, a new face. He has been doing well. I don't know the first name. I think I mispronounced the first name, Carty. So yes, he performed well. Then Roston Chase did well. Everyone contributed in the batting order, and then with the bowling, nothing much to say about West Indies bowling right now. They are on a dream run. And Pakistan, they have issues again in the ODI squad. We have seen them since the Champions Trophy, since the ODI World Cup, we can say. They are having a lot of issues in their side in the ODIs. Their bowling needs to be worked upon. Their batting needs to be improved. Everything. Their ODI side just needs to go through a major changing phase, I feel, because they need it to improve. And the last ODI, Pakistan were humiliated while chasing 294. First of all, in the 294, it should not have been 294. West Indies should have been bundled out for some 200 or 210, maximum 200. And in the last nine overs, Shai Hope and I forgot the all-rounder's name. They both scored 108 runs without the loss of any wicket. 108 in 9 overs. Just imagine the level of Pakistan's bowling lineup right now. And then Pakistan were humiliated for 92 all out. Jaden Seals just ripped apart their batting order. So a lot needs to be looked upon. Pakistan, they have a lot of issues. So Agni, why don't you place your opinion on this?
भाई
Yeah,
एक सेकंड अग्नि. प्रोदीप, अगर तू ये सब कर लेगा तो मैं क्या बोलूंगा भाई? क्या कर?
I think Vedant. I feel like Vedant and Proneet are very accustomed to me being the host, but I think we're trying to go for a more level system here, even though Vedant is taking over as
What is this
hosting type.
nuisance? I won't tolerate.
Music.
Anyways, let's back to topic. Agni, your viewpoint.
My opinions. See, yeah, ODI series was a very enjoyable one to watch. I watched it personally because I really like to see Pakistan lose. I'm sorry, I have to tell it
हाँ.
all out.
हम भी
I
देखते
like
हैं
to see
भाई, हाँ.
Pakistan lose.
और
But
वेस्ट
it's
इंडीज को जीतते हुए देखने में मजा ही आता है भाई.
because see, I'm an Indian. It's in my blood to say that. But the thing is now, but coming to an analytical point of view, Pakistan are a good side on paper. They look like a very solid side. What they have been lacking is execution, as Proneet mentioned. Execution नहीं कर पा रहे ये लोग और ये लोग, especially Babar Azam, Rizwan have a lot of talent, but they're not being able to cultivate it. Now, if this is an inside job, जहाँ पे behind the scenes they are not being able to practice well or being in their best form, वो अलग question है. But people on their class, like Rizwan, Babar, they're very top class players, and especially the opening players as well. They're top class players. Bowling side with Naseem Shah, Shaheen Afridi, these are players that we know and are very famous. But still, they're not being able to play a side like West Indies. And despite West Indies not being in their best state, one can say not in their best form right now, and still bundling up like this is not a good sign for Pakistan, especially 2 years down the line, 2027 World Cup, man, because this is not good. This is definitely not good news. And coming to the West Indies point of view, large Jawab. This is the type of cricket we want to see from West Indies day in and day out. They have a solid middle order. They have always believed in the middle order for a long period of time. They always had a stable middle order. Opening, the top order is only the question they had in both tests and ODIs as well. जहाँ पे opening कौन करेगा, who will do the opening well, that was the question. But since then, since this series they have done decently well, that is sorted out. And bowling, Shamar Joseph coming into the ODI side as well, amazing. He has supported well, but the main star of the show
You
is
love
Jaden
Shamar
Seals.
Joseph, Agni. We all know that.
भाई
Yeah,
मैं इसके नाम से सुन के मैं थक गया हूँ भाई. पता है प्रोनीत, अग्नीज नंबर ऑन माय फोन इज सेव्ड एज शमार जोसेफ. सो मतलब या.
no. See, I like Shaman Joseph, but going to the spotlight, I'm saying talking about Jaden Seals because he has done क्या किया है भाई. I mean that 6 wicket of 18, absolutely amazing. That's
I agree.
bonkers in ODIs. Really.
Yes.
So amazing stuff. West Indies have now, if they continue this form, I really want them to continue this form. If they continue this kind of form, they actually could be real contenders of the ODI World Cup going inside India, जहाँ पे the conditions are a very good side. If they bowl well, they can going to get wickets. So if they can do that, it's amazing.
Okay, chalo. I think that is one more series we have spoken about. So good, well done, guys. Congrats. इतना fast जा रहे that I am very happy right now. So again, time to move on to the next one. We'll be talking about the Australia versus South Africa series, which was a very T20 series. So while we
Very,
are recording this,
It is a very T20 series. Yes, it's
yeah,
very
very
अरे
T20
तो
T20, very T20.
T20 वर्ल्ड कप आएगा तो भाई उसी का मैचेस होगा ना. एनीवेज,
uh,
तो अभी ओडीआईज भी चल रहे हैं. वी विल नॉट टॉक अबाउट इट बिकॉज एट द टाइम ऑफ रिकॉर्डिंग द two ODIs have been done, one is not been played. That is why we are not
yeah.
going to talk about that now. So we'll talk about the T20 series. So Agni, शुरू हो जा.
Yep. Uh,
Sure.
uh, See, this is an ongoing series right now. This is being played on Australia. Australia के northern side में खेला हो रहा है. Southern side में नहीं खेल पाएंगे because बहुत ठंडा है. तो northern side में खेला हुआ है. These are unused playing grounds. I'm saying this because these have a lot to play with how the T20 matches have gone as well. These are fresh wickets. These are wickets that in T20 cricket can tend to be quite flat. So if you bat well, if you dig in deep, you're going to score a lot of runs. But if you don't dig in deep and try to, if you don't have a good form, you lose wickets. That is the point I want to make going into the South Africa Australia T20 series because these are top teams playing now. We have talked about teams that have not been ranked as high in T20 cricket, but these are top teams in T20 cricket. You can talk about South Africa. They are the runners-up of T20 World Cup 2024. Australia have went into the semi-finals last time, so they have a team and they both are power-packed teams. And they have firepower in both teams. Like in Australia's side, they have Travis Head, Mitchell Marsh, Tim David, etc. Glenn Maxwell. In the South African side, they have Aiden Markgraf, Deval Brevis, who was debuting. I think he's debuted in the ODI series, T20 series also. He has done well. Deval Brevis, Ryan Rickelton. So these are power pack sides coming to each other, especially flat pitches. Man, this is important because this series can really set the tone for the team going to the T20 World Cup next year, and this is very important. Talking about the series, this series was actually more like one-man shows from both teams, especially from Australia's side. This was Tim David's series. He is in the form of his life. In the last year, Team David didn't have his best of years, but this year, I'm talking about the domestic league, of course, IPL. In the IPL, if you see his scores, and for RCB as well, he has carried the match to the end and has won crucial wins for the team. Here as well, he has continued his form, and for Australia, he has done exactly the same. If this
Just
scoreline,
cutting you off, Agni. Just cutting you off here. Sorry, but adding to your IPL point, he even performed exceptionally well in the Big Bash League held just a few months before the IPL. So
yeah,
overall, this year he has been exceptional.
yeah. So this year is Tim David's year, and absolutely package he is, because the way he bats, he has batted at number 2, so he's more like a top order player as well. RCB have used him as a finisher, so you've seen him how impactful he has been in the finishing side. But here as well, he has come early in the order because the top order hasn't been doing well. Chavez didn't have a very good series, but Tim David has carried the series, and Australia won 2-1 mostly because of Tim David. I'm not saying all because of Tim David, but mostly because of Tim David and how he has performed. He has been absolutely going tonkers of the South African bowling lineup, and he has done very well. But talking about Australians' point of view, Australia have a lot of problems because they are not getting the impactful innings. Tim David is doing this, but there won't be always a situation where Tim David will always carry the match and win the match. The form will run out eventually. So you need different players to perform as well. Now Australia won the series. That's good. It is good news. But Australia need to find players to find some forms. If not the 50s, 20s. You need 20s from each player or something like that. You need that. You have that kind of expectation from them. So that's very important because that has led the match being a lot closer than it actually could have if their batting performed. So that was the whole series. But for South Africa, this was not a bad series as well, because you have seen players like Ryan Rickelton perform, and Deval Brevis. People know him as AB, a baby AB. He has done. I think this was a show that portrays to the world, saying that he's here. He's a talent to watch for world cricket, and I feel like he can play a very big role for South Africa in the T20 World Cup, and the firepower that South Africa need in the middle order going towards the T20 World Cup, because the likes of Hendrik Klaasen is retired, David Miller is in the later form of his career, so you need firepower in the middle order, and Deval Brevis does exactly that. And top order, Dan Rickelton, he has played well for Imal this year in our IPL, and he has continued his form here as well. So this is a well-rounded performance for South Africa. But what was missing here was winning those key moments. When top players play, the top teams play against each other, key moments are very important. And South Africa missed those key moments, especially in the third T20I, where it was a penultimate T20I. They couldn't get rid of Glenn Maxwell, and there are ways to get rid of him. But when Glenn Maxwell has a good day, it's a great day for him. So you need to find out methods to get wickets and break partnerships, or else these close matches will go down the wire, but you will end up losing the match. So the result won't go your way. So South Africa need to fix that, but it's not a big fix. It's not a big problem for South Africa because they're still a very good side. But it was a great series to watch, and it was an action-packed series to watch, and especially for Australia and South Africa both, this is good news.
Proneet, you have anything to add to that, or I think Agni summed it up all.
हाँ, अग्नि summed it up very perfectly. बहुत अच्छे से किया अग्नि ने. हाँ भाई, लेकिन ये सीरीज वैसा ही था. टिम डेविड ने कैरी किया. फिर मैंने द लास्ट T20, जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट द लास्ट T20, इन दैट T20, यस, द की मोमेंट्स, मैंने बेसिकली, मैं अगर बोलूं तो एक टिपिकल चोक किया था लास्ट T20 में. दे कुड हैव वन दैट बिकॉज सारे प्लेयर्स को सिंगल डिजिट्स पे आउट किया. मिचेल मार्श somehow stayed there in the crease, and मैक्सवेल जब टिक जाता है तो मैक्सवेल always wins the matches. पता नहीं मैक्सवेल कैसे फॉर्म में आ जाता है भाई. मैंने आफ्टर I don't know when was the last time he had a good day in the field, because IPL से सीधा MLC में जब आया, वो USA का लीग, वहां he performed exceptionally well. वहां से उसका फॉर्म चल रहा है, लेकिन वापस डिप किया, वापस अचानक से फॉर्म में आ गया. मैक्सवेल इज अ वेरी अनप्रेडिक्टेबल प्लेयर, बट वही है, nobody is consistent in the Australian side. टिम डेविड को छोड़ के वो कंसिस्टेंसी चाहिए, क्योंकि मिचेल मार्श द कैप्टन, वो कंसिस्टेंट था आईपीएल में. उसने 600 प्लस रन बनाए थे, 614 624 कुछ रन बनाया था आईपीएल में. ही वाज वेरी कंसिस्टेंट. ही जस्ट नीड्स टू फाइंड हिज फॉर्म अगेन. और Travis Head is a big issue, I feel, even for Australia, because if he doesn't score, Australia doesn't win. We have seen that.
He needs
He
India
is a
to
crucial
play
player.
well. He needs India to play well.
रोहित रिटायर कर गया है ना.
Okay, I think that's why there is not been performing. Retire him from the format. Get Rohit back.
वही भाई, तो वही ओवरऑल और कुछ बोलना नहीं है, बहुत अच्छा हुआ। और वेदांत, तुझे अगर कुछ बोलना है तो बोल, तेरा ओपिनियन मैटर करता है भाई।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, मैटर नहीं करता है, ये होस्ट ही करेगा बस, ये बेटर है बस। कुछ
Very enough, very enough. अच्छा, मूविंग ऑन। चलो, सो वन मोर सीरीज
हाँ,
डन।
हो गया
एंड
भाई।
मैं मतलब मैं अगेन, ये मैं थर्ड टाइम वीडियो पे बोल रहा हूँ, मैं बहुत खुश हूँ। मतलब 11:38 को कर रहे हैं ना यार, नींद, स्लीप इज किकिंग इन, बट आई एम वेरी वेरी
भाई
हैप्पी कि
गुड
खत्म हो
मॉर्निंग
रहा
से वीडियो स्टार्ट हुआ था भाई।
है। कब से?
हाँ, मॉर्निंग।
अच्छा।
गुड मॉर्निंग बोल के वीडियो स्टार्ट हुआ था।
मॉर्निंग तो नहीं, बट एटलीस्ट आई थिंक 10:30 तो स्टार्ट हुआ था, तो मतलब इट्स ऑलरेडी मोर देन एन आवर
We
नाउ।
sometimes we I don't know why we do it, but we always do our videos late in the night for some reason. But this is one of the first nights we
हाँ,
have been finishing before 12 a.m. So that's an
अभी
achievement.
अभी
We are all
रुको
wide
भाई,
awake.
अभी रुको,
यस।
जरा सबर करो। विल
हाँ।
अच्छा, नाउ ओके, so this is the, I think all the upcoming developments in the cricketing, men's cricketing side we have covered. इंडिया वर्सेस इंग्लैंड टेस्ट सीरीज हो गया, आफ्टर दैट ऑल सीरीज जो था हो गया, बीच में जो सीरीज हो गए वो हो गए। आई थिंक दिस इज प्रीटी मच इट दैट हैज हैपेंड, एटलीस्ट टॉप 10, टॉप 9, टॉप 8 क्रिकेटिंग नेशंस में, बिकॉज जिम्बाब्वे वाले कुछ कुछ सीरीज थे, but
Hmm.
Zimbabwe versus
Wayne Mulder
South
being
Africa
the
and
साउथ
most
अफ्रीका न्यूजीलैंड,
selfless.
वो फ्रेंडली टाइप सीरीज थे, वो
हाँ,
WTC के अंदर नहीं है।
नहीं WTC में नहीं थे, बट उसमें जस्ट वन नोटेबल मेंशन कुड बी द फैक्ट दैट हाउ, इफ आई एम नॉट, वीएन मुल्डर स्कोर्ड
Hmm.
हाँ, 300 किया था।
yeah, he scored more than 300,
ब्रायन लारा के रेस्पेक्ट में
but
400 नहीं
for
किया।
his respect he didn't do it. So I
Bro
think,
thinks he's in the top 10 respectful moments.
no, Agni, I think
शाउट आउट टू
before
शुभम।
I go to the women's part, which I will be doing, so I just want an opinion that, do you think what he did was right? Wayne Mulder.
Oh, this is a controversial opinion actually, because
Bol
a
bol.
lot of people have different opinions. On Twitter, on Instagram, people are saying this is absolutely not right. Some people are saying that it is right. So, my strong opinion is that, see, records are meant to be broken, and if you, if like even if it's against Zimbabwe, you needed to break records. And imagine Van Mulder breaking Brian Lara's record. Van Mulder, of course, he's still not there as the classic Test batsman like Brian Lara was. But if you have the opportunity to break such a record, which was thought to be unbeatable, this was the only instance I feel like where this could have very well be done, because this was a flat wicket and he was scoring runs at a fair rate. So he could have done it. It records meant to be broken, and he should have done it. But in his eyes, I feel like he doesn't respect himself too much. But I feel like he should give himself the confidence to do well. He's not going to get much opportunities like this, and being in the record books will seem nice. So he should have done it, but his thought process is also valid in that sense, I guess. So it's just his thought process going on, and
Got it, Agni.
especially when it's against Zimbabwe.
Got it,
Yeah.
got it. Agni, sorry, Proneet,
वेल,
which point of view?
even Matthew Hayden, I previously Brian Lara had a record of 375 against England. Matthew
Hmm.
Hayden broke that record against a Zimbabwe team, scoring 380 against Zimbabwe. So if Matthew
Hmm.
Hayden can do that against Zimbabwe, such a great player, so Jan Mulder could have easily crossed 400 against Zimbabwe. So I don't think so the teams matter much, because all are professional teams at the end of the day. So scoring against any team is a quality knock. So I feel
Also
he
one
should have
point,
went for the 400.
Proneet, it was day three, I feel like, if I'm not wrong. Day three, where
It
Zimbabwe
was
got
day
100
three.
all out. Zimbabwe had 100 all out, and South Africa were scoring at a fair rate. I think they were at like 6 runs per over. So if they wanted to do so, they could have taken just one more session to do it, because at the end of the day, in
Exactly.
that match, Zimbabwe again got all out for less than 200 in 2 sessions. So the match was left
Exactly.
for 2 days to play. So maybe if he could have taken one more session, he could have done it. So
Time was
Easily.
not an issue, Agni. I think I agree
yeah,
with
time
you
was
both.
definitely not an issue.
Time was not
Yeah,
an issue, and that, I think that should have been done, all said and done. So I think this is
yeah.
and I think now we move on. And before we talk about the women's series, so two series have been played. One T20, where India has won 3-2, and I think more than going into what has happened in the series, it is important we talk about its significance, and that of course I'll get to you for that. I'll just hold off that. And then we had the ODIs, which again India won, if I'm not wrong, 2-1. Yes. So
Yeah.
the ODI is India women's team won 2-1, and the T20 series India won 3-2. And now to explain the significance of that, I'll go to Agni. Take over.
See, we haven't been covering women's cricket as much because women's cricket is not played usually, but this one is played during the English summer, and we wanted to make a separate segment for it because this
अच्छा
cricket.
एक सेकंड
Uh,
अग्नि सॉरी टू कट यू ऑफ we before
hmm,
the women's world cup we will be having like some videos or something which will cover women's cricket. We the only reason we have not started doing that is because we will be doing so more in focus when the world cup arrives. That is why we are
yeah,
not doing it, which Agni is mentioning. But again, we are including that segment in this video purely because of its significance, and I we all collectively feel that it is too significant to not talk about, and
yeah.
hence Agni, go forward, your stage.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, as you have said, significance is humongous for Indian cricket, especially Indian women cricket, because this is a breakthrough. This is the first time that in a ODI series, T20 series, we have beat them here before. In ODI series, where it's a longer format, and especially playing at England, it's never easy for any team, be it men's, be it women's. It's never easy. It's very different conditions to India. It's less humid. It's cold. In India, it's hot. It's humid. So it's a big difference to adjust there, and especially play good cricket and win. So it's very tough to do that, and especially winning there is a big achievement by itself. So T20 series that India have won, it's also a big achievement because they have won in an away series. But this one is more significant, the ODI series, just because this is the first time India have won against England's women in their home state. Now this is even of the most significant news for the Indian
Just to
women.
correct you, Agni. Just to correct you, Agni. This is the second. This is the second time India has won against England in their home in a ODI series.
Proneet, I think the net is cutting you off. So matlab, I think you and
He's
net
getting
would
cut
have
off
like
then.
a personal battle.
अरे
So
ये
go
पार्ट
again.
कट
Yeah,
कर देना, ये पार्ट कट कर देना, ये पार्ट अग्नि अग्नि तू अपना वापस से स्टार्ट कर.
this was the last series going on to the World Cup for India and England. This was a significant series for both teams because they needed to perform and they need to set a template so that every player is being able to perform at their best going into the World Cup. Because this was a very marvelous series, and especially so that India have won a big victory. This was the first time India won a 5-match white ball series at England in the T20 side, and the second time India won a ODI series against England at their own home ground. Now we have talked about the English summer and how significant India's victories are at England. Now why that is the case? Because if you look at the conditions point of view, technique, skill, no one has a doubt that both teams are equal in that sense because they are heavyweight teams and they are one of the top 3 teams in the world right now. So there's no question about skills and technique. But for India, it's significantly tougher to go at England and win games just because of the conditions there. And especially this is the type of confidence that the India's women cricket needs going into the World Cup to win a World Cup after a long drought. Because this is a big victory, and this could also suppose go down and rub on their World Cup performance as well. So this was an immersive victory, and we'll talk more about this, of course, before the World Cup in more detail. But this is what has happened during the English summer, and it's very
Okay.
prevalent.
Thank you, Agni. Points
Hmm.
you have explained very well. And Proneet, see, Agni spoke about the significance which I asked him to. Now I'd like to for you to go in detail and in depth about the T20 series. And just to remind, we have won that 3-2. And
Hmm.
Proneet, just in brief, talk about what has or an overview of the series or T20 series.
Yes, yes. Just an overview of the T20 series will be that overall in the series it was a very well fought series 3-2. In India won the series in the fourth match itself, and the last match was just a formality. But on the other hand, if we look at India's performance, it was a complete team performance because in every match everybody contributed. Uh, Smriti Mandhana, Jemima Rodriguez, Shefali Verma, Harmanpreet Kaur, Richa Ghosh with the finishing, everyone contributed, and especially with the emergence of young players like Sri Charani. Kranti Go. These players have emerged in both the T20 and ODI. Both the series, these players have emerged and they have booked their spots in the World Cup squad as well. So huge amount of positives for India. Their batting looks stacked. Their whole bowling lineup is perfect. Everything is going well for India. And we will be covering everything from women's cricket as well, all the developments in women's cricket, as we will do a preview of the World Cup
Proneet, I have mentioned
as
that.
it
अब
is
छोड़ दे फिर से मत
Mhm.
बोल.
on the
Just
other
talk
hand.
about the series.
Yes. तो खत्म, हाँ वही खत्म ही कर रहा हूँ.
अच्छा, okay.
तो वही at the
And
we
okay,
will
thank
just
you,
bring
Proneet.
everyone
Don't do more
अरे
than what you
भाई
asked.
खत्म तो करने दे.
अच्छा ठीक है guys आराम से क्या चल रहा है यहाँ पे.
क्या कर.
let me do the outro now because तुम दोनों
अबे
का
आउटरो
वही
नहीं
rapport
हुआ
नहीं
है,
है.
कर
रुको
दे भाई
भाई.
कर दे.
हाँ.
Anyways, T20 series done. Agni, just a detail about the ODI series.
Yeah, ODI
Thank you
series, as
bro.
I've said, for both men's and women's cricket, it's similar in that sense because it's a longer format, especially for women's because biologically women are different in the sense that they need a lot more effort to give on than men because they need to put in a lot more effort into the field, and especially that this is a longer format and a lot of skill is involved, and especially it's played on dry pitches like Edgbaston. It's important for both teams to get their bodies in time with 50 overs cricket because a big format is coming and this was a perfect opportunity to do so. Now both teams have done fairly well in their sides. The spinners have done well for England specifically, especially that their spinners, I think Orkle is one of their names, they have done very well. They have, I will again, the details will be said during the road to the World Cup, but this was a series for India because especially that the T20 team and the ODI team both came up to be something that is a whole unit. They look like a family that goes on and they are very well versed together and they have won matches like anything. And especially after losing one match, of course, they have come back and won victories. That shows that India cricket have what it takes to win the World Cup. And I suppose especially one can say its biggest opponent is Australia. One can say that if they continue having this kind of rapport going into the World Cup, this win is massive. And if they continued with this form going to the World Cup, India can win. They have a very good chance to win because this by far looks like the most settled Indian women's side we have seen for a long period of time, especially after the likes of Mithali Raj and Jhulan Goswami. This is a side to contend with, and this is exciting to watch.
Chalo, thank you guys. And I
Yeah.
think in this video we have covered all the latest series that have happened. Sri
Hmm.
Lanka, Bangladesh, West Indies, Australia, Pakistan, West Indies, South Africa, Australia, and the India and England women's series. And that's it from us. Good night. Bye bye. And see you in
Mhm.
the next video. Hopefully fast. Hopefully within
Yeah.
some fast. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. Bye bye. Love you guys.
Thank you.